let's check out if our translation work. It seems so. Oh, it's okay. Let's check. Hello. I see it. I want to narrate about my recent events, where I have been and what I have did for the last what I have done for the last week. And first of all, I want to tell you a story about my yesterday's event when we with my daughter visit Contact Zoo, and while I looking for place for my praying, because it was near to miss my Maghrib pray, my daughter trying to catch one of animals in that zoo, and there was various kind of these animals. For example, some kind of rats, rabbits, and so on. And it was pleasure to know that not so far from my house we have such interesting zoo where small kids can play with these animals without restrictions, and they are allowed to make with these animals whatever they want, even lift them and kiss only these animals who could make danger for kids. Allowed to visit. I allowed to visit only with staff of that zoo. But even these animals isn't prohibited to get in their cage, because if you really want to play with them, you able to call staff and along with them get in this cage and play with whatever animal you want to play. And while my wife was doing her business yesterday, I'm walking my daughter around the trade mall, and we have visit Cafe Abu Pizza, where I have ordered pizza and was about to eat this cake, this pie, when my daughter suddenly decided to get around trade mall, and she didn't allow me to sit and get pleasure from my pizza, and I was compelled to went with her, and when we returned, my pizza completely cooled off. But there is no problem, because this cafe is cooking quite high quality pizzas that quite unexpected for my city, where so not so much high quality cafes and more than over restaurants. And unless you visit this cafe, you will never understand what I mean, because it's so many pizza cafes where you really can enjoy with delicious taste of real pizza, whatever you visit. Another kinds of restaurants where offered only pizza, and you supposed to think that if they do only this kind of pie, they apparently do it with high quality, but indeed you will stumble that they can't even make properly this only one pie that they able to cook, and you will encounter that they quite often overcooked your pizza, or it was not it was date expired with date expired containment in this pizza. And once had I visited one of cafes in Chernigovsky Street, and I was disappointed then that there was a restaurant, and meantime my pizza was so inappropriate that my stomach sick for the at least week after I had visited this restaurant. It was quite unexpected to visit such kind of restaurant and leave it with ill stomach. And I want to tell you about my visiting of one of private school, where after I had passed the test, and chief of this school was asked me a couple questions in English, and I answered her quite properly, but with a lot of mistakes, of course. But above all, I understand that no so many teachers able to speak indeed, and if your school visiting someone who obsessed with learning languages, you at least should to test him in field. I mean, gives him one of your classes and try what he able to do. And I understand that I'm not have a good qualification, but main things you know, you should understand that much more important how you interested in your profession, and sooner or later you will have gathered enough experience to conduct your lessons properly, without preparations, even without preparations, and do it as well as it could do these teachers who have experience more than who had experienced it more than 20 years even though. But she softly laughed at me, and with smile asking me about why I decided to be a teacher, and counting that I have so many mistakes. In your opinion, of course, I explained her everything, that I obsessed with languages, and going to be a good teacher, whatever it costs to me, or takes, whatever it how much time it takes of me. It doesn't matter what she considered, how she considers teachers in your mind, but I think these teachers who manage to speak at least like me, word to be tried in work, because it's quite hard to reach even a little, even a small level like I have now, without visiting countries with native speakers. And after all, I'm not offended by her words, because I understand what she meant. There is no problem to me to take such kind of critique, because she worth to be respected, because she has her own school, and as I understand, quite profitable school. That's mean much for me and my exception, and it's my perception. But by all means, she worth to be respect, as I said in at previous sentence. But nevertheless, I was disappointed by myself that I got passed through so much various kinds of books, and did it properly, but still make so many mistakes, even in writing test. But after all, I understand when my friend Roman explained to me that even he, who working as a IT programmer, could make many mistakes in IT test if someone take him to work, because it's you have had, yeah, it's better you have had mind which allow you to be better in various kind of ways. I mean, learning grammar, speaking, and even writing essays, whatever it cost for you. But Roman said me that it's silly to underestimate my capabilities, because it should pass more than 2 years that I have been learning, that I had been learning, and he succeeded in persuading me. And I understand that even these people who I respect, like Dmitry Petrov, say that we have to respect mistakes, because whatever you do or make, you have to make many mistakes in a way while you trying to be a master. You have to make many mistakes, a lot of mistakes in your way, because it's impossible to suddenly appear like a professional without trying to be it. And 1 week later, I have visited nearest school of my house to my house, and outside it looked quite unworthy for English school, but when I got in, I was surprised that it was quite a convenient and well-looked place, well furnished, and even administrator smiled to me and asked me what why I came there. I explained for surprise to me. She even didn't give me some kinds of tests what I supposed to write in my knowledge, but she only asked my telephone number, and when I did it, she said that her chief would ask me, and we will continue our discussion with her. And after 10 minutes, her chief called me, and I explained everything to her, but she was surprised that I trying to work in your English school without any special education. But I explained that I is obsessed with English, and as I got it, she understood what I meant. It's quite unusual for kids who learned in Soviet Union, but I really respect such kind of man and woman. And she promised me to call when she when she will have gathered group of kids for me. And only thing I forgot to say her that I don't expect a high salary for myself at first, because I understand all my that I have any special education or things like this, because it's quite risky to accept to work these who can't prove their capabilities. But first of all, as I would what I would do in such occasion, I would ask someone who came to me for work many English questions, and I would consider everything what that kind of person said, how quickly he understand what I ask him and or her, and much more important, how much time this man or woman spend to learn English every day or every week. It depends on many things and various kind of circumstances. But I believed those women who have her own school near my house, and I really hope she will accept me to work in your school, because I really like to work as teacher without some kinds of troubles with my grammar, but we must count that before start any lesson I make necessary preparation for it, because I understand importance of my work and how it's important for those who come to learn English with me. And even I would forget something. It's quite easy to remember while you're preparing for your lesson. As soon as I understand it, I would understood it. I would go to the school, next day after I understood it, and unless I do it, I would never admit myself as a proper person, because if you didn't try anything, you are not allowed to discuss. You are not allowed even discuss it, because only if you try, you will allowed to complain or make advice for someone. It's quite obviously for somebody, but maybe it would helpful for my friends who are watching this video. When I had been working for 6 years at TV studio, but I can consider this time as spent for nothing, because at that time much more important for me was to get money for my family, at least this small salary what I had. But now it's time to make a move without due respect for myself. I never do it, and it's time to stop complaining for myself, and do whatever I able to do with help of Allah. And maybe sometimes I will have work worthy for me, and nobody became professional without practice. And if you look at my first video when I trying to speak and compare it with it, you will have find that you will have find that I have made quite good progress for this time. And it's impressive to understand that practice really help you. It's only way to improve. But what I want to emphasize regarding that teacher what refused me from work in your school. When I have visited her school, and from the start asked her in English couple questions, she was encouraged, and wasn't able even to answer me and put her head down, and that time I understand that she have her own problem with speaking English. I'm not trying to offend her or condemn her or show her as unworthy person, but it was, and we can't refuse it, can we? We can't deny it. We can't deny this fact that she didn't able to answer me immediately when I asked her. It's quite complicated for teens who have small practice for during his life, and if you suddenly ask me for someone, I immediately answer you whatever it costs, because it's must work without preparations and overthinking about what kind of sentence you have to compel before spelling it. It's necessary for you, and only one person in YouTube I respect, and it will be quite obviously it's Dmitry Petrov, who, as I noticed, gives same advices that I do, and it would be much better if there were more men teachers, or at least same quantities with women teachers, because uh, I noticed that whatever you go, um, not whatever, sorry. Um, if you go at any private school, you will find out that there are only women who teach English for someone, but we have one problem with women, that they are afraid to speak freely, and really fear to make any mistakes, and it is stopping here. It is stopping them from speaking freely all the time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I suppose I completely right in this area. Even if you decided to speak, there is no obstacles excluding this what you put before your and only practice able to help you to improve your English, but while you are learning English or an other language, you have to get through various kind of books what you have in your bookcase. Only two parallel ways have to go same time. And sooner or later I will have work that suit me perfectly, and I wasn't managed to be a good showmaker, but after all I hope I will be a good teacher at least. And today, and I will try it until I reach it, because I have no other way, and there is no time to complain, and I have no much time to do anything else or wait for better time. And I want to emphasize that rather complicated to wait a better time than do it immediately when you decide to be someone. Today I'm going to make a couple videos about various kind of team, for example, for instance, about how to learn English with your books, what you're able to buy in nearest book shop, and also a video about this these propaganda sites, what we have an opposite side of government. I mean znak.com or lenta.com, which propose information about troubles with government, while they trying to make unrest during with awaken Nazi temper in society. For example, when house in Magnitogorsk blowed up, they immediately refused of ideas that it was because of gas escaped, but I was starting to exclaim that it was terrorist, and at least from a gill, and in third story of this house there was a representative of Asia or Caucasus who intentionally explode this floor, and it was at least terract. But I understand that it's due with worn out pipes, and it will have been blowing at least after a couple years, when these pipes were kind of in other houses will have worn out, and it's inevitable, because from Soviet Union to this moment nobody tried to repair these old constructions and buildings what we have now. And it's hilarious to think that someone from Syria came to Magnitogorsk and blowed up buildings in this area. Why it wasn't Moscow or Saint Petersburg? Why it's they suddenly decided to blow up Magnitogorsk without any proofs that it was direct? I don't understand how it's possible. And even Roisman, who completely assured that it was explode from explosive assuring us that it's not correspond to official line of this occasion, but indeed it was direct, and some kinds of terroristic organization trying to blow up Russian, or even they tried to accuse government as it was in 1996 when uh, in Russian was blowed up couple houses, but at that time it really was a terror of government, conducted by government, but that time it obviously that there is no traces of terroristic organization, and even if they trying to offer us these proofs from Telegram where a representative of IGIL uh, make assured us that they blowed it up, but indeed how could we consider Telegram channel as provement of guilty someone? It's quite it's no make sense at all. If I will make a Telegram channel and will have called it like government of USA and will writing there some kind of information that it was we who killed Berezovsky or someone else. I don't think that you agreed with my, that you believe in my information, that you would believe in my information that I give you from this channel, by this channel. I suppose it's time to stop my translation, and I supposed to practice more and more, but it's quite hardly for me do it every day, because excluding work I have I spent much time for learning English and other problems what I have. Not problems, only these things what obliged me, what I am obliged to do. And I also obliged to confess that my English turned out much better, and if I will carrying out it subsequently, it will be better, and it will be better and better. It's complicated to do, but no sooner had I made improvements than I started to do it every week, and you see it now. Whatever you do about me, whatever you think about me, and I have became better already, haven't I? Not so good as Yelizaveta Kishkova, of course, but if I will be trying to do it more and more, I will reach her level, and I understand she lives in sky, but maybe I someone reach her level and will speak as she do, like she do. I completely forget about narrate you story that I ordered one interesting thing in nearest shop where I ordered cup with my own picture. It cost me it cost me, sorry, 350 rubles, and it will look like this. I have been dreaming for such a kind of cup for many years, but now I ordered it, and my cup will be looking like will be printed with this picture. But before dream about my new cup, it would be better to wait it, and we will see what we have received from this painter shop. And I don't have any pieces of news regarding my life, and I suppose it's time to close my broadcasting and go to make other things what I have to do. It's about time to go off. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you later, I hope, and when we will have translation, when we meet again, I will hope you will join in my translation, and we will speak with you at least how to improve our capabilities of English. And now it's time I was off.